Mana is a correctly spelled word.
You've been transformed by the magic of the MagCast.
Welcome back to the MagCast, episode number 12 on January 12th. 2013. Feels so weird to be saying 2013, actually. I'm not quite...
we all thought the world was ending, so...
Yeah, the Mayans were wrong.
I'm in so much debt.
No, what the thing is, the Mayans didn't actually predict the end of anything other than their calendar.
Maybe they ran out of cute puppies to put on it.
Yeah.
It's okay, guys. I go through this every year. I freak out every December 31st.
I think everybody's January is always like, wow, is it really X year? Is it really 20XCX?
Yeah.
That was a
I'm
Mega
sorry.
Man reference.
That was great.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I got it.
Y213, but Y2K was the best
End of the world of all time.
catastrophe of all time.
That is actually still my signature at the mag.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
it is.
Yeah.
As you can hear with us, we have Insultabot back. I wanted to
I'm
highlight that.
Yay!
Woohoo!
He has been gone because of me for
Yay!
2 weeks. Maybe
Silence
3.
minions.
And we also have with us our little team. We got Lantis and SK duoing.
What up?
And we also have Ixion and Dragon with us.
Hello.
Hi.
Yay!
Dre was last. Haha.
We've
Oh, come on!
with this.
First.
You should comment on the video when that goes up and just put first. So I can ban you.
Everybody,
That's how
every
you-
comment first.
If you,
Yeah,
that's
whoever
how you know
gets
you
to
made it on
first.
YouTube, is if you got someone on your videos posting first.
Well, Lantis, don't you have that ostensibly?
No, I don't have anybody, but I probably will now simply for bringing it up. Thanks.
You're welcome. You are so welcome. So, what's been up with everybody?
Oh.
Yes, I want to go first. First of all, I beat the digger on Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby. And I got to that mofo, Christopher Robin, and the Son of Satan, and I can't even do, he just annihilated me, and I'm just like, you know what? I can't even. So you know what I'm gonna do? Just,
Cry?
yeah, I'm gonna cry. So what? What, men can't cry? Yeah, I was crying.
Did you
I'll
see
shed a
that?
tear, so?
Did you see that Flash game where you hit the characters instead of the ball?
Yeah,
No?
I did, and that was so
Yeah.
cathartic.
No, like,
Again,
my
crying,
found
but this
that and
time
I
out
posted
of
it.
happy tears.
It's like, there went Christopher Robin. I'm so happy.
Which of you discovered this game in the first place?
Actually, none of us.
Was it
like,
eggs?
No, he didn't discover it. It blew
No,
up
I didn't discover
on,
it. I posted about it on the mag first.
yeah, it blew up on Reddit or Otaku or somewhere. I don't remember where.
No, it came from
Otaku?
4chan.
Oh,
4chan.
4chan.
4chan scares me.
And then Reddit promptly copied it.
Reddit scares me.
Reddit scares me more.
Yeah.
Because it's not anonymous. But, we have a very, very cool show today, and I want to get right into it because we have a lot of news this week. But before that, let's put on a little bit of free play.
Free play.
Alright, so this week's free play, it's gonna be super awesome, except it's like a couple of months old, which we never really featured it here, but you should definitely check it out since we've raced it a couple of the games in that series, and that is the Donkey Kong Country 3 OC Remix album, DKC 3 Double Trouble.
Oh man! Now, if you've never been to OCR, you need to check this out. There is something for you there. Like, if you love classic gaming, and you love music, or the music of gaming, then you owe it to yourself to check out OCR. But, yeah, recently, the biggest thing that they released, recently was DKC3's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Double Trouble, which was awesome.
David Wise is actually a featured remixer on this. He arranged a piece, and if you don't know, he made the music for the first 3 games in that series, so it was really cool.
Yeah,
I thought.
Awesome. And again, this is a wonderful example of, instead of going to Nintendo and crying and trying to get a C&D out, they freaking accepted it, embraced it, and now it's all the better for it.
And Nintendo, you said again. Stress that.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
Well, Square recently kind of stomped its boot into OCR's face.
Yeah,
over their
really?
FF6 album. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to cut, and they had them take all their characters off of their website that they used.
You know,
So
I
people
understand
wouldn't get
why they
confused.
do this, though. It's you either endorse it and bring it into you, so that way you still have control over your copyrighted material, or you say no. If you ever don't do one of those two things, anybody now has free reign because there's precedent where you did not control and protect
trademark
copyrighted materials
or copyright. But you know,
but so I do like the people who, you know,
take the high road.
Well, they sort of like turn a blind eye. Like they didn't actually allow it to happen, but they're like, "Oh, I didn't know this was happening." Wink, wink.
Now, is Wise considered a Nintendo employee or a Rare employee?
No, he is not employed.
He's
I don't think
now,
by any of those. He's independent.
Well, I mean, when he worked for DKC, went to
he worked for Rare.
Okay, well then maybe that's what it is. If he was probably a Nintendo soldier, he'd probably be like, "Oh, rah, 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 rah."
Yeah, him and Jeremy Soule, who did Secret of Evermore, the Elder Scrolls soundtracks, and Guild Wars 2 soundtrack, and Secret of Evermore, of course. He loves OCR, so I think that's awesome. The composer's usually all for it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But and something else worth mentioning is that 2013 is going to be their year for some of these OCR albums. I didn't look at the list as extensively as I could. I got a preview package of songs for being a backer of the FF6 album, but one of the albums is for Lufia 2, and just Lufia 2.
What?
Yes. They're finally doing it.
Ah!
Big X just popped a boner.
See, I had to say that for eggs.
Gosh, I can't even keep it in my pants now.
Oh god.
Oh no!
Oh gosh! Button come loose.
It's too big!
Oh, that's funny.
But, basically, that's pretty much it for free play. I think you should check that out if you have not already, which I'm sure a lot of people have. Let's do a little bit of story mode now.
Story mode.
Oh boy.
Yeah, actually, Dre, would you like to take this one?
Yes, I would. So, in our last episode, we were talking about the big announcement, the big Pokemon announcement that Nintendo was going to make. Now, the episode aired after the announcement was eventually made, but we recorded it before we knew what it was, and it seemed kind of weird that Nintendo would make a pre-announcement hype for a new Pokemon game, so we did some speculation, and we all made our predictions. I predicted that it would be a new Pokemon Stadium game like the ones on Nintendo 64 or that one on Wii. Faye, what did you predict?
I think I ended up just saying it would probably be a new Pokemon Stadium game, if I'm remembering right.
Someone said an MMO. I can't remember who that was.
I thought it was going to be Pokemon Snap,
I thought it'd be an MMO. But my final, I want it to be, but my final prediction realistically was the Stadium game.
A Stadium game would make sense because of the tablet being able to work much like Skylanders.
Yeah.
And I was guessing Pokemon Snap because, again, the tablet could be a camera.
I was thinking something like Snap 2 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think Eggs wanted Snap.
What were you thinking, Ixion?
Was I thinking? I thought it was Pokemon White and Black 3.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. That would have been
and really, I was like the closest out of everyone.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
And in what way?
Well,
Well, it was a sequel, but not just a next generation type.
yeah, it is. It's just 6th generation.
No, I was wrong. I mean, I was wrong, but kind of right.
You were wrong, but you were the closest without going over.
Yeah, so I was winning the showcase.
Actually, I think out of all of us, Ixion is the only one who kind of won because technically, yeah, it was basically all they were announcing was the 6th generation of Pokemon. And that's still better than Black 3 and White 3 at the very least. But the rest of us pretty much lost. Big time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they've never done this before. They've never pre-announced the next generation like, oh, this is going to be big, this is going to be different.
Yeah, it is, because it's in 3D!
Can I just get one thing in? One thing that excites me about, and this isn't necessarily just about Pokemon, is that this is one of the first times that they're releasing it simultaneously around the world, so I hope they do that with more
That's
of their
interesting.
games.
Yeah, that's
More of the
interesting, but
first-party
that's
stuff.
not, at the end of the day when the game comes out, that doesn't really
that's-
mean anything.
That's what that particular fan set really wants. It's the people like us who have kind of
Okay,
grown
so,
out
like,
of it.
I can play it the same day as someone in, the UK or Japan. What does that do for me? What does that mean?
Well, there's a worldwide battle net, so you can battle
Yeah,
with anybody.
it does
right
have
then.
online, and
But
it doesn't
that was
require
my
friend
question.
codes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't played since Red and Blue, and only after that I played PokeMMO. So how is the online structure now?
I like it.
They've had online capabilities since Diamond and
Diamond
Pearl.
and Pearl. Yes.
In what capacities, though? How are they
You can
utilizing
trade
this?
worldwide. You don't
And
have
you
to have a friend code or battle.
Yeah,
so you can't battle one another?
you can
can't.
battle. Battle
So it's
is an
basically
option.
the same as System Link. It's still not upping the game to any Poke MMO status.
No,
Okay.
No, it's more
It's just-
like Xbox Live online.
it's like
So it's the same thing as System Link that they've been doing forever. Just now you could do it over the internet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a little disappointing.
Welcome to Nintendo.
This
The time is
announcement
now.
This announcement is disappointing. In fact, I would like everybody to follow my lead here, including those of you listening to this at home. Follow my lead.
Scared.
I want you to raise your hand in front of you.
Okay.
Look
I'm
at the
doing
palm
this.
of your look at the palm of your hand now,
Alright.
That is one sexy hand.
and then apply
Why is it
directly
hairy?
to the forehead.
I got it. I didn't do it too hard because I saw what was coming.
I tried to make it audible.
I'm that kid.
SK's
Facepalm.
reaction was awesome.
No,
What does that say?
my hand is.
Open up a bottle of champagne,
It gets some Pokemon
sit in front
there.
of the fireplace.
I'm immediately reminded of that one Castaway movie where he painted his hand in blood
Right.
and named it Fred or something.
Wilson.
in
No,
this
wait,
one,
no,
he
wait, it was the
painted it like a
volleyball.
Pokeball.
Let's hear it for SK. Let's
be
give
his
the boy
friend.
a hand.
but again, about my personal reaction is how could they not do Pokemon Snap 2? The tablet is a camera. It
Right.
can be the camera, even if it's on rails. You can control the camera. You could turn side to side. It's just ready. The technology is there to do Pokemon
Are
Snap
you
2
Are you talking
on
like
the Wii U.
doing augment reality kind of?
In augmented reality, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's,
yeah,
yeah.
you don't even
the
have to do
technology is here for them to do it now.
Well, in
I'll
fact,
just
the
take it on the Wii
technology,
U.
Yeah.
the 3DS has already got a game like that. Like
Yeah, I
the
played it and I
AR
suck at it.
What was it? AR shot, something like that, where you
And
freaking-
even better,
Yeah.
use the 3DS alongside the Wii U and have a crossoverness, so you catch games in this new XY, or is it YX, however the hell, this new generation.
I like
Male and female.
XY.
X and Y, so.
Okay,
Male
so
and
you-
female. I
so
like
you catch
that.
Pokemon on there that wouldn't normally show up in Snap 2, and they crosstalk and communicate, and it brings them into your Pokemon Snap world, or even your Pokemon Stadium. Because
I like that, but you can't play that. You have to like crank. You better be standing up playing that stuff. Because I try to play that game in bed on the 3DS, and oh my god, they get
Yeah.
out of your periph, and you're like trying to contort
That's
yourself
true.
like a fucking belly dancer.
yeah.
Come here, you
Yeah.
legendary.
I had that problem when playing Ocarina of Time, where you have to like turn to aim the bow and the hook shot.
You just get dizzy and fall on your ass.
You know, and if you're around anybody, you look like a complete idiot spinning circles around the room. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, there's a skull spider up there. I gotta get it. You understand?
As long as they don't get a can of hairspray and a lighter.
Oh, I can't even do that. Don't even talk about that. It's a joke. I hate spiders.
But
By the way,
going
that
back to
actually happened.
Pokemon,
Someone burnt down their house. That's why I said it. Someone burnt down their house trying to kill a
I
spider.
almost did that in Twilight
Wow.
Princess.
Who did that?
Well, question, did they get the spider?
Probably.
I think so.
Well, then, you know what? Mission
Well,
accomplished.
if the house fell down on top of him, I guess the spider got.
Can you imagine being the spider and surviving?
Right.
Run out of the house and turn over your shoulder and just see this house just engulfed in flame. Like, oh my gosh, I'm never going inside a house ever again.
Lesson learned.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I saw the new starters for Pokemon XY. I like them.
Yeah, well, they're just your typical grass, fire, and water. I mean,
well, it's always those three. That's how you start out all the time because they're the most balanced against everything.
I like how the fox's name is like Latin for fox, like Fennec, I believe. Something.
Oh,
Fennec.
is it? Is that what
Yeah.
it is? I didn't know. I was like, what the hell is that?
It's
Man,
Latin for fox, I'm pretty
They're
sure.
really becoming uncreative with the new Pokemon.
well,
they're not that many. You know,
What else could they
Wow.
do? Like a Pokemon that's a pencil?
so including the original
Pencil
150 and all the iterations afterwards, how many Pokemon are there grand total?
it's in the
Like
600s
over
now.
600.
I
Over
was going to
six.
guess 500, but wow.
It's over 6. What do you people think this is going to end with? Like 2,000 of them at the rate they're going?
Oh, who cares?
You know, they
I-
could start reissuing the original ones and no one would know.
Yeah, no one would
They
know.
sort of already did that whenever they did Ruby and Sapphire.
Look at this new one, Wheezing. You've
Oh,
never
wow.
seen this before.
Yeah.
These kids today probably haven't.
I know.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I
they don't
like
include
that.
them in the new games anymore.
I like Bidoof.
You know, they need to change what they're doing. It's time to change the Pokemon formula. I mean, they continuously just re-release the exact same game since 1996, just with updated graphics and new Pokemon.
Yeah, but what I was telling Lantis is that there's millions of people who are fine with this formula, and they will continue buying game
Millions.
after game.
They
after game.
actually had
And I-
a really
and
cool
I can't do it.
suggestion.
I can't do it.
Some of those
They need to make.
fans.
What they need to do is make a spin-off and just
They have
experiment
made
with the Pokemon
spin-offs.
formula that way.
Yeah, they have the
I can't-
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Well, no, that sucks. I'm talking
And
about
also Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah.
But
I
again,
don't-
that's not what Ix is talking about. He's saying make another AAA size a Pokemon game, a spin-off series
Well,
that
the
isn't
thing
just a
is,
spin-off.
there is the tactical RPG one.
But that's not a
Right.
spin-off. That's a crossover, and it just happens to have some Pokemon in it.
Wait, what's it crossing over with?
With a strategy series that has long existed in Japan.
Like it's crossed
Specific?
over with another game?
What game is that?
That strategy game, the turn-based strategy with Pokemon in
the
it.
Pokemon Conquest.
Yeah, yeah.
What's this,
Yeah.
Pokemon
What
Fire
is it?
Emblem?
What
In
other
fact,
game?
in Japan, it doesn't even have Pokemon in the title because it has the original series title. But we've never had that.
Oh.
So we got Super Mario 2.
Oh, so it's a game we don't have over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's literally a crossover.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't
Oh.
even know that.
Yeah.
They should have made a Pokemon MMO instead of a Dragon Quest MMO. I still firmly believe
Well,
that on Wii and Wii U.
I have high hopes that this system, the Wii U, will be the time that they do that. It is
I
time.
don't hold
think
your
so.
breath.
Again, I'm
Bated
thinking
breath.
6 years from now. I think they're going to wait.
I again just want to reiterate how disappointing is it Nintendo hyped all this up and all it was just the next gen in 3 years.
I am absolutely disappointed at that. You know, I didn't spoil myself. I watched the thing after because, you know, Japan time, it was on like 4 a.m. and I was like,
Yeah.
sigh, gosh, now everyone's gonna be like, yeah, I was right. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, well, thank you, Nintendo.
Yeah. I'm annoyed. I'm done. Stupid
You
Nintendo.
done?
I cannot play another Pokemon game until they change that battle system. It's like if Final Fantasy had the exact same battle system from Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 12.
Oh gosh.
It would be the exact same thing. I can't. And, look.
That's exactly why I stopped with Red and Blue.
Day and night system.
Well, they're not even, I don't know if they're gonna add this, but people want to dress up their characters. That should be so basic to add. Let them customize their look.
That's a Western
that's
RPG
not making,
element.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But
and
they
that's
do that in
becoming more and
Monster
more popular in
Hunter stuff.
Japan.
And I hate it
Monster
because
Hunter,
that's stupid. Like, the way your character outwardly appears, it should
but
never
does that
be
have anything
more
to-
important than the actual game mechanics.
Absolutely, but they're not even doing that for them, apparently. You know what I'm saying? They
Like,
won't
games that
change it
revolve
that much.
Well, I'm just saying, games that revolve too heavily around how you outwardly appear is just completely stupid.
Yeah.
When you end up neglecting character development for your storyline, like, for example, all the Fallout games. Like,
I think the Tales series is pretty cool with it, though, because you can unlock alternate costumes and stuff.
Oh, well, in the Tales of series, the characters are still static. Like, they have their personalities, they're very well developed. They have they grow. It's just, like, the Tales of series does a really good job of storytelling, and the costumes are just kind of
I see this, though, is in Japanese games, like in, like the Harvest Moon games now you can get different clothes, and it makes sense to me, because it's your journey. But I don't know, it's people that want to have, like, they make custom trainer cards in the fan group, and then you put your info on them and use them to trade in battle. So I guess people just kind of want to look like their Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
I guess. Because it's your name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a static character.
So you're not Red or, Ash?
Well, you know what really upsets me? My name is Ashley, and I felt stupid for putting my nickname in there. Because the main character is named Ash.
Wow,
so people are going to think I'm the biggest dork in the world, but that's my nickname.
And because he's Ash, I always thought it made sense to go with Red and get Charmander. Just made sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
To me, that
if
felt
you don't
like it
pick
was the
fire
canon
types, you're
title.
casual.
Yeah.
Because Charmander was the hardest to use in the first game. Get fire types or go home.
I've
The
never
only time I've
picked
ever
Charmander.
Yeah, whenever I've ever played a Pokemon game, I've always picked the fire Pokemon. I don't know what it is. It's just, they just seem so much more awesome than water or grass. It's just,
True.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
I
thought
always go
Piplup was
grass
pretty
and...
cute.
Oh, sorry.
They're all cute, but
Well, again, that's aesthetic. What does that have to do against, abilities
it's
in
all
battle?
aesthetics, so...
I go grass and water all the time.
Because a lot of them can learn similar moves.
You guys are totally talking outside my field.
Poor SK.
Pokemon is out of my...
Well,
I knew that the main character's name was Ash. That's probably about it.
Wow.
Well, in the 3 types of Pokemon, I guess.
Well,
oh no, there are like 12 types of Pokemon.
I can't keep... Can we mention that? I can't keep up with that.
There's 17.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and some of the classes are fighting. That's a type of Pokemon. It's an element.
Well, that's from base, so I'll give it that.
They're not elements.
Steel?
They're types.
Yeah, but it's like the elemental weaknesses. Like one Pokemon strong against others and weak to others.
If you're weak to fighting, that just means that you're not skilled at hand to hand, and if you're weak to fire, that means you're flammable.
What? And psychic is another one. Psychic.
That means you're not smart, I guess.
Okay, Lantis, how about this one? Bug type.
I'm done.
Bug. Yeah, bug is another. Bug. Well, I mean, grass.
What does that do?
There's grass, fire.
Well, I thought grass
the
was
bugs
maybe
can
synonymous
eat
with
grass.
Earth or something.
That makes sense.
No, Earth is another one.
Oh.
There's an Earth type.
Anyway.
I thought it was ground, but whatever. We're getting off. We're in a tangent.
Regardless if you call them types or elements, it's the determining factor of who's weak or strong to another one. Like, regardless of what the word is, that's what it is.
But we have some more news to get into. We were all wrong. It sucks, but whatever.
But apparently, there is a rumor. This isn't fact yet, but this is a rumor that Sony has applied for a patent to make it to where if you buy a new game for their next console, which is probably going to be PS4, and that game has become married with your system, and you cannot take that disc to another PS4 and play it. It cannot work. That destroys your ability to let friends borrow it, let family members play it, or be able to sell it to the used market. And
the biggest issue, let's just say that that's normal. The biggest issue becomes, what if your console is broken, you get a newer one, because they do issue newer versions of consoles, and is it married to the motherboard? Is it married to a key on the hard drive? What if you upgrade your hard drive? There's so many questions that could make it so that you no longer are able to play your physical discs.
I bet it would be a license transfer, but it's still outrageous.
But now, the way the discs work, you cannot rewrite them. Once they're written, they are written.
Oh Absolutely. My gosh.
So I've looked over that patent, and there's no way to change what is on that disc. So you would have to change what is on the console. So that makes me think it's motherboard married and not just a key.
Right.
Because they've already gone through the key.
But where would it store that data? Like is there a little BIOS chip that just...
Yes, because they already do that on the Xbox with the DVD motherboards. The actual boards, not motherboard, but the board on the DVD drive.
Right.
It is physically married in the same manner that they're discussing. And that's why you have to reflash your memory, you have to flash your DVD drives if you're fixing a broken DVD drive on an Xbox 360, or just change out the physical mechanical parts and keep the board.
Now,
oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I have been debating with this for the longest time, but I think I have decided that if that is the direction that Sony is actually going to go, I'm going to commit. Now, I'm announcing it here for everybody, that I will not get a PlayStation 4. I cannot
More power to you. More power to you. I agree.
Support this.
What worries me, though, is if they hide it. If they do it, but they don't implement it initially in order to get a market, because a lot of people are going to be saying the same thing as you. And GameStop sure as hell won't carry it if that's the case.
Well, the thing is,
that's where all
nobody should be buying these things day one anyways.
Especially I didn't get a PS3 day one.
You know why people didn't buy Wii U's day one? Because you didn't know anything about them.
Yeah.
I did.
There was no freaking advertisement, no marketing.
But that... Yes, but my thoughts are that they won't implement it, that it'll be on the system, and it'll just be a silent killer waiting for a couple of years until they have a large installed base where people are already invested in the console, they've already bought games, that is the system they are on.
Sony, if you're listening to this, stop listening, don't get ideas from us.
So none of the discs will have that tag on it for the first few years. Then suddenly it'll be a requirement, and all publishers will have to put that on their disc. And then...
And all publishers will be a different company.
Well, the thing is...
Very possibly, but there would still be a huge market for them to continue to sell games on it, because they waited a few years to get a hold of the market.
Here's my thing. I could probably get my usage out of a console within a few years, you know? So, like, if that was something that was going to come out day one, yeah, I would completely screw it. Now, if I can go a few years with it before this thing is implemented, I could just, and obviously, if they implement that, they're probably going to keep it for future consoles. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is, I will be supportive of any developer's console. I mean, I've got all of them right now. I'm not biased. I've got all the consoles. I've been playing them.
But you hate Nintendo.
Some more. Well, it's not because I don't.
It's not because he's a fanboy. It's because he's experienced with them.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you.
I'm just trolling.
But the second that Sony does imply that kind of thing, I'm done.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's.
But just so you guys know, Microsoft has been toying with the technology for a while. They're looking for ways. They've run a few patents over the past couple of years, leaning towards doing the very same thing.
Yeah,
it's just in a different manner.
You know what's going to happen if they do that? The same thing.
Drop them like a hot potato.
Yeah, and then suddenly the Ouya is the big console.
Yeah, wouldn't that be the most awesome thing ever?
It kind of would.
I would actually like that because it seems that. Well, I don't know about Nintendo so much. Nintendo seems to be more fair. They're not trying to like lock stuff down that much.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the other two are trying to lock their systems down, and Ouya is just coming out like, "Hey, look at it."
Hey,
don't have any
that's why, because no one else has done it.
Actually,
everyone's going the other way.
This is actually probably a really good opportunity to go ahead and switch on to our next topic.
Oh, not yet. I have one more thing about the PlayStation 4. I have an alternative.
I do as well.
Oh,
I have an alternative to what they're doing. If instead of doing this and getting people to not buy their consoles, if they would instead focus on their digital distribution and make it so that instead of wanting to buy physical retail discs, they want to buy digitally. So make it expand their PlayStation Plus program. Make it so every purchase for a subscriber is 25% off retail across the board. Everything you download, 25% less if you subscribe to PlayStation Plus. Now you have a reason to buy digitally. Now they don't even have a big retail market to worry about secondhand costs.
I think they're trying to kill their physical media market.
I think they're just trying to kill GameStop. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
But GameStop is also really big on selling DLC. Surprisingly, a large amount of DLC is sold through GameStop. You can simply get an email from them if you and pre-orders, especially pre-orders. So you pre-order a game at GameStop, you get very specific DLC that no other retailer has. So that gets people to buy brand new games at GameStop. They also do it for that DLC. Then if you buy DLC from their website, you get emailed a code that you could just copy and paste instead of having to physically enter a single digit.
And yeah, but that's not their main income. That's not
at all.
That is just kind of a side
bigger every year. It's getting bigger every year, and there's actually a really well written article about this that I don't have in front of me, but they've been slowly gearing themselves towards the digital format. You could buy PC games from them digitally. You can buy.
They have a whole wall of like DLC cards.
Yes, absolutely. They're getting bigger and bigger on DLC. First of all, in the brick and mortar and on their website.
Well, they're going to have to go that way if Sony and Microsoft actually go this route. That's
absolutely.
What they're going to have to do.
You know, this generation is really interesting because I'm thinking a lot of stuff is going to change.
Absolutely.
Like, this generation is the last one where it's just everybody's just solidified. Like, if they're going to keep doing this, then they're going to open up some opportunities for an outsider.
True.
Well, I was just thinking though that I saw some massive anti-piracy stuff, and I get that, but there's this thing that I kind of go back to. If the entertainment industry could, they would prevent us from sharing or reselling our physical media, and they've finally gone this far. Like, if you don't buy their game, that you're pirating. That's what it feels like.
That's how they see it, yeah.
Hey,
that's how they see it.
Yeah. That means X was a pirate when I lent him the copies of Dead Space 1 and 2 that I personally bought and owned.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Did you hear that, EA? He let him borrow it.
And now
they're going to send helicopters drop down.
Somebody needs to step in and check them because this is getting ridiculous. That's all.
Let me check your game for the download.
And if you guys want a wonderful read on this exact subject, go check out the novel Year Zero. It's just like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, except for all about music piracy and media piracy, and just amazing. I highly recommend it for this exact subject because they point out everything stupid that they're doing to kill themselves with these laws.
Lantis, do you have time to tell your copyright notice story that you told me yesterday?
I could go through it real quick. I just got a copyright notice from on YouTube.
What?
Yeah.
From who?
On Illusion of Gaia, on my Illusion of Gaia LP.
Oh my gosh, that game is so old.
Yeah. Now, guess who I got the copyright claim from?
Who?
I'm okay. I won't ruin it. I can guess very strongly because these assholes are assholes.
Yeah. All right.
Are you sure it's not a troll?
You would think that
It's
might
a copyright
be
troll indeed.
Enix, the creator of that game, correct?
Or even possibly as an extension of it, Nintendo. Somebody who had something to do with the game.
No. It was a company called Fullscreen Inc.
It's fake then.
Yeah, well,
that's all there is to it. You gotta fight it.
So I fought the claim, and they're like, why do you want to fight this claim? And I checked the box of, I did not infringe on anything. They're like, please write a description. I'm like, Full Screen Inc. does not own the game, images, or music, or anything involved with the Illusion of Gaia. On top of that, I have not infringed on any copyright whatsoever in this video.
And I hate the ones that it's a person who just samples the music from a video game and then claim they own it.
Yeah, they've been doing that with the YouTube bots.
I have that situation, actually. I uploaded on a different channel a long play of Bubble Bobble, and I got a copyright claim from somebody who did a remix of the Bubble Bobble song.
But he doesn't own it.
Is claiming copyrights.
So, anyways, I got
a copyright strike or a content ID notice.
It was in my copyrighted, like in the section in your video manager that says.
Okay, so your upload was not taken away.
No, I fought the claim,
that's what I was worried about.
I got an email back saying Full Screen has retracted their claim.
So, like, not only do people that own the copyrights start pissing us off with their DRM crap and their we're pirate crap, now people who don't even own it are getting in on it.
And what I think should happen is that there should be a penalty to companies who make false claims.
Absolutely.
There needs to be some kind of control over this because people
YouTube
just throw these out all the time. So if there's a penalty for these companies making false claims, then
there should be absolutely because they're actually infringing on the copyrights of the games by saying they own them when they don't.
They're doing worse than any LPer.
Absolutely,
and also LP is protected under the Creative Commons, I think, with commentary.
Yes.
Right.
It is.
Because it counts as kind of a documentary or something. I can't remember what.
Almost journalism.
Yeah.
It's almost journalism. It barely fits in.
Because you're not claiming the game as your own work.
No.
Right? In fact, you clearly aren't.
Yeah, you're playing a game. You're playing a game. That's it.
Partnered stuff gets a little bit dicey, but if someone's not even getting partner money,
right? Well,
there's nothing.
There are partners out there getting a buttload of money off of Let's Plays,
right?
Like Toby Games.
They make enough money for
Brothers.
YouTube that they overlook a lot of stuff. I think.
And it's not. They're not even playing old stuff like us. They're playing games that came out like 2 days ago. Like
they have to be the first ones.
Yeah, and if they don't get copyright infringement notices, what do we get them for? Like me and SK just finished Tenchu Stealth Assassin last night, and we're going to be uploading that, and it would be stupid if he got hit for copywriting. I don't even know who made Tenchu.
Well, I did get hit when you put in the Sarah McLachlan.
Well, I want to say it was THQ.
Oh well, you're safe then.
Yeah.
Or Activision, maybe.
Because they filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
That's sad.
But anyway.
But that's my little tangent. So, on to the 2013 consoles that are not from the big three.
Which I think is amazing. So, let's run through the biggest ones. First of all, this is not a new thing. It's a new thing for them to get real attention and to have a market. Because this has been happening a long time, but for piracy machines, handheld, ROM emulators and whatnot, and all of that. That's been going on for years. This time, we have full-on consoles that aren't made for piracy and aren't doing anything wrong and have a huge market and a lot of media attention.
Yeah,
we got the Ouya.
There are so many. Yeah.
We got the Game Stick. We have the NVIDIA Shield. All of those are running on Android. And then finally, there's Steambox, which is a huge deal right now. Steambox is finally a thing and a real one. Right. And it is running Linux, which is a great turn of events.
Now, I really am, what I really love about this is that Ouya is actively, promoting and encouraging people to grab a screwdriver and rip it apart and get in there and do their own
No
thing.
secure keys, just
I have a concern, though. I'm not trying to be mean to the poor little Ouya because I have one pre-ordered and everything, but it's essentially just an Android platform. It can't really run much. You know what I'm saying?
The Android platform is getting so much attention in different ways and getting tablets and whatnot and higher powerful machines that are running it, that finally you're moving away from the cell phone mobile gaming and getting into the larger games.
I guess I'm biased because I do have an Android phone. I'm kind of like, I like this stuff, but if it's just going to be all these copy, like, MMO kind of things and...
But the Ouya will have its own
coins.
marketplace that you could, first of all, you can install anything that is on Android on the Ouya, first of all. Second of all, they'll have their own marketplace where there's a little bit higher, I guess, quality control
And it's not to mention that it's going to be perfectly open for indie developers to go in there and make their own stuff.
Yes.
It's really just out in the open, like if this is going to sink or swim.
Yeah,
but
I like
there's
indie
a really
games
good,
and stuff.
Yeah, there's a really good chance.
And it's completely crowdfunded. So that's interesting. It's been a big year for crowdfunding, Kickstarter especially. I mean, just blew up.
Yeah,
but,
I
especially
funded
in the gaming scene.
I funded Ouya as well.
Yeah.
I funded so many games on Kickstarter. It all started with Double Fine.
So the Ouya, completely open and great, and it's a tiny little box for those of you that don't know. It's about 3-4 inches square.
It's almost a cube.
You have a coffee mug,
yeah,
or a Rubik's Cube. It's about the same size as those.
Yeah,
but it has full controllers, wireless, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
And they're very similar to Xbox controllers. They look like they're going to fit in the hand the same way.
Yeah, they're pretty much full-size controllers.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Like, the controller might be bigger than the box.
Yeah. And that is very true. And GameStick is doing a very similar thing. They have a controller that looks more like the shape of a PlayStation 3 controller.
Oh, yeah, that just got funded.
Yeah, and it's a thing now. It's going to happen.
It's a thing.
And the interesting thing is it's just a USB flash drive that fits inside the controller. You pop it out, plug it into a USB-enabled TV, and you play it right there. That's your console.
Yep.
Very cool. It does need a smart TV, or you could possibly play it on a PC, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't have a smart TV.
If you can't play it on a PC, I'm pretty sure there will be an application that will be able to read it so you could.
Yeah, and again, speaking of smart TV, there are smart TVs coming out, especially from, what's that? I just saw a huge thing on it. They're making 4K resolution TVs this year.
Wow.
Oh
man.
Yeah, and it's going to have an Android-based gaming platform on it. Very interesting that they're doing that. The biggest announcement, aside from Steam, in my mind, speaking of the Android gamings, is NVIDIA. NVIDIA, who is they're doing Shield, which seems to be the most powerful of all of them. It is just a controller, looks much like an Xbox controller, and it has a flip-up screen. Very interesting thing.
It makes a certain amount of sense to me because, they've been making graphics cards, so of course they'd be kind of cutting edge, I guess.
Right.
More so than Ouya. I mean, I am definitely not a person to say graphics are everything, but as far as taking a major market share, I think the graphics are going to have to be there.
Right.
But that's pretty much where I'm at with it.
I'm just going to go out there and back up just a little bit and to my opinion of, the whole married discs to consoles. That becomes a thing. These consoles that are coming out, Shield, Steam, Ouya, all this.
And Steambox.
Yeah, I will absolutely convert over to these without hesitation immediately. We've got Sony and Xbox, or Sony and Microsoft, who's sitting there trying to plan and scheme and trying to find a way to make these games proprietary on their console. Where on the flip side, you've got Ouya, who's openly encouraging you to get in there and do your own thing. It's like the exact opposite of what's going on here.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm just worried it's not going to take a major market share.
Oh, man.
And the thing is that also worries me is there's too many options at once.
Yeah, it's going to dilute it.
The people that are interested in it in the first place are going to have a hard time choosing.
I've been thinking about that pretty much this entire discussion of these new consoles, because if I remember correctly, one of the things I read, one of the contributors to the video game crash of 1983 was there were too many consoles.
Well,
True,
there are too many Pong machines.
Yeah, the thing is though, in this case, they're not mainstream. This isn't the thing that people are going to be running out to get their grandkids. This is going to be for people who are our age, who have their own income, who have their own
Right.
control over everything that they're doing here. It's not going to go to the masses at all.
Yeah, I just
But
think
it could be the first step.
if we want to see a true phase shift, we're gonna have to there has to be something that the masses will get.
Yes,
Right.
and
Change
I don't
the
see this
frontier.
as that at all. The closest thing to it, I guarantee you the most successful of them will be the Steam box. And that's because
Yeah,
they
that's
already
what I'm
have
thinking.
Because
And
they
that's
have
because they already have a
massive
huge
gaming
PC
library.
following. Yes, they already have a huge library, thousands
Did you
of
see how
games.
small that thing is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
I was like,
several
whoa.
pictures of it, and the other thing is though, there's possibly going to be several iterations of it coming out at the same time, just basically different specs. So not just different sized hard drives like the Xbox and the PlayStation have done, but literally more powerful machines. All of them capable of playing all of the games, but just at what settings?
Some better at others.
Absolutely.
Well,
So-
I have to play everything on low on my laptop anyway, so Steam box.
Right.
It's probably better than what I have right now, but not better than my desktop, I bet.
I've had an old NVIDIA GeForce 9500 GT for the past several years, and I got it when it first came out. That card was amazing.
Yeah.
But even
That's
after
what
this
happens.
time, this card still is able to run modern games
Yeah.
fairly decently. Like I've been playing a crap ton of Torchlight, and that thing can still play that game pretty much wide open. So
I was in the exact same situation as you. I had an NVIDIA 8800 GTS, I believe it was, until this week. I just got a 64 series, a 640 series.
There you go, just budget.
They last a long time, so I think these Steam boxes could very well last
And
just as long.
I just want to
Yeah, a couple of years at least.
More than.
If what would really sell me on this is the only problem I've ever had with PC gaming is compatibility and issues with games running and updating and all that stuff. There's been
But that
so
would
many
be
problems.
so unified.
Like, since I've got it on Steam, I've had problems launching half the games I've got, and I had to go in and Google, find out what I'm missing, why this game's not running, or why it's not updating, and, none of the stuff you have to worry about in console gaming. Throw in the disc and it freaking works,
Well, I usually have to update, but it's as simple as going, yes, I will
Yeah,
update.
you hit A.
I also
Today.
don't like how you have to pretty much dig into your computer every 2 or 3 years to replace.
I dig in my
component.
computer more than that,
Me
just
too.
because I like doing it.
I used
don't.
to more,
I-
but now I don't.
I am terrified of going into my computer. I always think that I will break something.
Oh, it's a playground
Yeah,
in there,
I don't
man.
like to
Yeah.
handle power supplies, so that's
You
part
get
of
used
the
to it,
reason
though.
I'm no good at
The
it.
more you go in there, the more confident you get. In fact, right now,
That's what she
I'm
said.
I'm actually about to head out because I just built a computer for my father-in-law,
SK.
and I'm going to be going over to his house to give him that new PC I just built for him.
Yeah, you people amaze me with that. I just can't. I'm gonna electrocute myself. That's what I've decided.
Yeah.
I get it
Well-
in theory, but yeah.
You could try unplugging your computer. That's what I do.
Well, that's what I do, but I'm scared I'm gonna blow something up by setting it up incorrectly.
Mm. But
I hate to do this to you guys. I know you guys have a little bit more you guys are going to be talking about, but I personally won't be able to join you for the rest of it. But you guys have a wonderful time, and it was great being back.
yeah, and we hope
That
to have
is
you a little
fine.
bit more in the future.
All right.
Yeah, come
I'll
on back.
definitely catch what I miss in the upload on iTunes, where we currently now are. So thank you very much, Faye, for
we're on
taking care of
iTunes.
that.
No probalo.
And I'll catch you guys later.
All right,
Have a good one.
later insult.
All right, bye.
But
Glad
yeah.
that jerk is gone.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to all these new consoles, and like I'm not gonna get any of them day one. I'm gonna wait a little bit and wait till there's a little bit more public opinion of it, and then based on that I'll probably delve in, especially if these patents for married games it turns out to actually be a thing. So
I don't know if it will or not. I think they're just testing the waters. Like, they pulled out patents for so much and they never freaking use it.
Yeah, well, yeah,
There would
it's
be
just
an uproar.
Well, yeah, but
people
like they'd
go
care.
against
Like,
it.
let's just be honest. Like me and a few of the guys, some of us here are the only people that actually believe and, voting with your wallet and voting with your money.
I don't even think
just
casual
make a
people
stand.
want PS3s. That's why it performs so badly here.
Like, people
Know what I'm
buy
saying?
stuff they don't actually want to support just because. Like, people, like, I'm, missing examples right here, but, there's something like people will buy Final Fantasy 13 because I've played all the other Final Fantasies.
So why not?
Why not?
I
there's
think
a
it's
good
just
reason why
a
not.
hope. I basically was like, I was seeing stuff about FF13, and I was like, I'm glad they're going back. It looked like an FF10 battle system. I got, messed over, so obviously I didn't get 13 too, and I don't think Versus is even gonna come out. They keep saying it will.
not.
Because it's like the messiah of bringing everything back. It's like, airships, there's gonna be a world map, and I just don't believe it anymore at all.
I don't
Say
either.
what? Who?
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. I'm a hopeless idiot, when it comes to optimism over, series that have
I try to be optimistic, that's why I have a Wii U.
yeah.
If Final Fantasy 13 Versus
like it,
actually
but-
went back to closer to traditional Final Fantasy, I would
That's what I'm
probably
hearing.
get it.
I'll
Look,
buy it in Flash.
they started to go back with Final Fantasy 9. Like, they took a step back
I
to
think
the roots.
FF9
No. I
was
don't
the
mean
epitome
like
of good.
the fantasy setting, because I thought Final Fantasy 7 and 8, I like their setting, but I mean like gameplay style,
Speak not one word.
world
against
maps,
FF9.
towns. I can't believe I have to mention towns. You would think that would be normal, but apparently
That's what
in
made
Final
me
Fantasy
so
13 it's
upset.
We
not.
don't need towns, we just need shops at save points. Now we can completely eliminate towns altogether.
I didn't think that's what it was
the
going to
Japanese
be, though.
hated that too. But
Surprise.
we're in a tangential moment. But since we're talking about RPGs, let's do a very quick RPG Maker Minute.
Yes.
RPG Maker Minute.
Alright, so Arc Arath, we have both of the creators here.
Ooh, are me and Lantis on center stage now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are
we
on
are.
center stage.
Yay!
So would you like to share a little bit about what you're working on, how long you've been working on it, and
Oh,
how
gosh.
it's going?
All right. Well,
9 years.
It's
been
been
9 years.
we're working on our 10th year. We started work in 2004.
Well, fall of 2004, so I guess it's more like 8.5 years.
Yeah, we
Now
began-
is this version of the game, or are you including the first version?
No, this
the-
version.
this version
The first version,
was-
Lantis made almost
finished
entirely
it.
by himself in 1 year.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
finished
wow.
it in 2002. So if going by that logic, the game's 11 years old.
Done.
But the thing is, SK came to me one night and was like, "We can do this better." So, and that's what started it, and we have been remaking it ever since. And we've been dividing the work up a little bit. SK's been doing all the dialogue, but we decided that we're going to do all the story. We're going to do the story, the dungeons, the puzzles, everything, the world. We're not even going to touch battle till after the game is finished in its entirety. And then we're going to go back, add random encounters, enemies, bosses, and we're going to put all of our
Balance the stats, all that
focus
stuff.
on making the bosses' fights epic and everything balanced. And, we're going to try to make it like the one thing nobody does with RPG Maker 1 is put themes in their battle. Like, this boss has these spells. I'd better have this to be able to do it. Like, we've got guest party members that come into the party temporarily, might be in a boss fight because they have this one spell that will, turn the tide for a battle. Like,
That
let's say
sounds really cool.
like we have there'll be someone in the party that's there temporarily that has a reflect spell, because in RPG Maker 1 the reflect spell is honestly just broken. You can't keep that spell.
No,
So
it's broken.
It's broken. You can't keep that spell. But and because of that, anybody that uses it and keeps it as a spell, their game's either broken or they just don't use it at all. So what we're going to do is, give it the temporary party member or flex spell, and you fight a boss that has a super high damaging magic spell, and that's the only way to avoid it. And in fact, will be the main way to actually deal damage to that boss, as maybe it's got really high physical defense anyway. So, there's creative ways to get, boss fights interesting instead of just hit, heal, hit, heal,
Yeah. For instance, there's like way early on in the game, which we were probably on this part of the game 7 years ago. We're going up against a boss that's supposedly known as one of the most powerful sorceresses to have ever lived. But we have an extra party member in our active party at the time who will have spells that will raise your magic defense that will give you a fighting chance against her. Right. Otherwise, she would completely flay you alive with.
Yeah, it's gonna be we're not gonna make it to where you have to rely on our little FAQ to be able to make it through. We want this to be kind of thought. You just think about it. All right, this is the problem. This is why. How can I counter this? And you look through and you find what you got and what you can use to counter it. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. We haven't even started battle yet. We're still working on the story. But we will be working on the battle system fairly soon because SK here has been working on the actual ending of the game for the past few months now. Yeah. We've got 3 endings. One of them are complete, and the other 2 are pretty well in the
So is this going to be kind of like a bestest, and I know that's not word, and then good, and then bad ending kind of a scenario?
We've got good ending, normal ending, bad ending. So, and
man, I better not mess up.
And I was actually, when I started writing the bad ending, one time when I was working nights at work, and I just spent my lunch break just writing it up, I thought to myself, I can't believe I had such a demented mind as to think of something.
It was work.
Something so horrific as what will happen to you if you get the bad ending.
The power of words, because it's not going to be very easy to represent that kind of a bad ending with the kind of graphics that RPG Maker 1.
You have to get really creative to animate
anything.
Heck, it's kind of hard in the PC RPG makers because you'd have to rely more on some custom artwork and creative scene usage still.
I actually kind of wish we had used the PC version. I know it didn't come out when we first started, working on, or did it?
Are there any more plans for your duo here to move on after Arc Arath into the PC makers?
Tell about your idea for a game a little bit.
Maybe. So, yeah, I've had an idea in the making for, something that I could make after we finish Arc Arath, and I would hope to get, SK in on it as well. And
I wouldn't mind, especially if we're not using RPG Maker 1.
No, we're going to be using a PC Maker.
Okay. I just want to say this. It's not that we hate one. It's just that there's so many things you can't seem to do with it.
And why would
Unless you're just a genius like Take or somebody.
Well, the thing is, once you make a game with the maker, there's not much else to do with it except, things that you might have thought were a good idea, which anything I thought might have been a good idea with RPG Maker, I've pretty much made a little technical demo of it anyways. If you go to the studio, you'll see that I've released a demo on how custom menus work under the guise of a RPG Maker 1 music editor, a way to introduce vehicles in a world map in RPG Maker, the portraits, which was originally Insultabot's idea, but then I got Ixion's help with sprite editing, and then I programmed a little demo of what RPG Maker 1 would be like if you had portraits with the dialogue.
If anyone can push the PC Maker's venting, I think you and Dre and a couple other people in the community could just push that venting out of the water.
Yeah, well, it's about as far out as it can get. We're talking
people
about RPG
rely on
Maker 1.
scripts. Yeah, people rely on scripts a lot, but if anyone can push the PC Maker's venting, it would be you all. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm not going to... When I eventually make a game on the PC RPG Makers, I really want to avoid touching the scripts. I want to avoid touching custom graphics. I'm not good at that stuff. I want to look at just the basic tool and see what I can do with that, because before I found out that RPG Maker 2000 was illegal, I actually used it. And looking at the tools that were available on that, I came up with some pretty nifty ideas. I'm sure I could use the basic commands on these newer ones and do the same thing without scripting.
I just think people rely far too heavily on scripts and custom, like, you need them by default, but I think that if you're good at something, push it. If you're good at writing a story or eventing, those are still skills. Like, the PC Maker community, and this could be a whole podcast, was like, eventing is not a skill. Yes, it is. I mean, whatever. It's just so stupid that, like, me drawing pictures is considered more worthwhile than someone eventing. I don't agree with that. At all. Because pretty pictures does not a good game make.
But,
yeah.
Anyways, we'll eventually get it out there. It'll be our magnum opus.
Back in
Your magnum opus.
And I will be let's playing it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm excited. I will watch. I don't want to play it now. I just want to watch Dre's Let's Play.
And I will make every attempt to break their game.
And we're going
that's why I want to watch it.
And that's why we're going to spend another decade making sure there's no problems.
Because if you have watched my Let's Plays, you know I am really good at finding glitches, even when I'm not trying.
Yeah.
That is not even a joke. That's why I would be scared to have Dre play my games.
I thought this would be my opportunity to write, a story that I wanted to and be, you can't animate, have characters do even like the simplest of animations in RPG Maker 1, so I'm hoping my overly vivid use of words will make up for it.
Yeah, like putting like a parentheses out there and being like, this character does this kind of gesture, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's the best you can do. That's all you could possibly do. But you know what? If that's all
There's not enough room to make that many custom graphics either.
No.
But I want to say that even if it turns out to not be as big as we're hoping, I think this is the best story I ever wrote, so I'm hoping people will like it.
Yeah, me too.
I look forward to it.
I do as well. And with that, I think we have reached the end of this particular episode of the MagCast. And I just wanted to thank you all for joining me and making this possible.
That was fun as always.
Anytime.
And to thank, once again,
go.
RPG Maker community. Well, RPG Maker Magazine's community. Sorry about that. It was very unclear.
Screw those other communities.
Right.
Yeah.
Star.
Yeah.
Well, it's been real, guys.
I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.